it wasn't for Amanda Serrano, women boxing would be out of business. Professional women boxing would be dead. And look, this ain't no pun intended. This is not me shaming any other woman in the sport of boxing or any other woman that ever laced them up or currently lacing them up. Right? Because I respect all women fighters. I respect all the women that lace them up. Y'all already know this is Punch Wrong Boxing, aka Mr. Woo, shot himself. Those who familiar with the channel knows. Highly supportive women boxing. But if it wasn't for Amanda Serrano, it would be dead. Some of y'all gonna be like, now what you talking about? Yo, there's good fighters. Alicia Baumgartner, there's Clarissa Shields out there, Michaela Mayers out there. Shout out. If it wasn't for Amanda Serrano, women boxing, the sport, would be dead. Let me take you back to memories lane so I could break it down. So relax, just listen to me and humble yourself, because this ain't throwing shades at any woman. Amanda Serrano was supposed to be fighting Katie Taylor. Remember the first negotiations, where they were supposed to fight in the co-main event to Dillian White versus Povetkin in the backyard of Eddie Hearn's mansion during the pandemic. Remember? Amanda Serrano pulled out of that fight because she didn't feel the money that they was giving her was worth it. Was worth her value. Right? And we all know that fight with Amanda Serrano and Katie Taylor was supposed to be, and it eventually was, the biggest fight in the history of women boxing. And everybody knew that. Women knew that. Everybody in the sport, the industry knew that. She pulled out of the negotiations, and I was happy about it. But 98% of the people in the sport of boxing feel like Amanda Serrano was doing a disservice to herself. She never made that money. Where she gonna get that money from? She never made $50,000, $75,000, $100,000. She should just get that money. But Amanda Serrano always knew her worth. And I used to say that Amanda Serrano was a 7-figure fighter. I was happy about it. There were tons of videos and stuff like that about it. We all saw the first fight at Madison Square Garden, sold out. The second fight, Dallas, Texas, most viewed women fight in the history of the sport of boxing. And now we here, July 11th, Friday, Madison Square Garden, New York City, Netflix. Shout out to MVP, shout out to Most Valuable Promotion, shout out to Jake Paul, shout out to Nikisa. Why am I saying if it was for Amanda Serrano? Because look at the card. MVP has signed 95% of the females in the sport of boxing. 95% of the fighters are with MVP. Top Rank is not invested in women boxing. Matchroom Boxing is no longer invested in women boxing. PBC never was invested in women's boxing. Amanda Serrano signed with MVP after she pulled out of the Katie Taylor fight the first time going around. I mean, the first negotiations, right? She left Lou DiBella and stuff like that. She parted away with Lou DiBella. She signed with Jake Paul. Everybody thought that she was crazy. Like, what the hell is Jake Paul going to do in the sport of boxing? And remember, everybody was looking at Jake Paul like some type of circus or some type of clown, in which he's not. He's been a plus. He's been a great addition to the sport of boxing. Whether people like it or not, whether he talk his shit, and y'all don't like how he promotes himself. At the end of the day, Jake Paul is a plus to the sport of boxing. But Amanda Serrano signed a lifetime deal to MVP. She is the face of MVP. She's the queen of MVP. And I regard her as the queen of boxing, la reina of combat sports. So, look at the card. Chantel Cameron, Alicia Baumgartner, Jessica Camara. All the ladies are signed. If it wasn't for Amanda Serrano signing with MVP, and MVP invested in Amanda Serrano, that's the only reason they got into women boxing, right? Because of Amanda Serrano. Then where will all these women be? They'll be out the job, because the sport of boxing has abandoned. Everybody went with Turkey. Turkey ain't putting no women up. Top Rank, Golden Boy Promotions, Eddie Hearn, they all in the business with Turkey Out Shake, the Middle Eastern. I don't know, they don't respect women fighters and stuff like that, but they're not invested in women boxing as well. Turkey ain't doing that for the women. MVP is. But because Amanda Serrano signed with MVP and gave them the vision that women boxing should be kept alive and should be respected. So when I say that if it wasn't for Amanda Serrano, that women boxing today, right now, will be out of business. If it wasn't for Amanda Serrano, women boxing, the sport, would be out of business. Now, there's going to be some attractions there. Yeah, Clarissa Shields and stuff like that. Yeah, Michaela Mayer. It'll just be a couple of attractions. Nobody will be invested in women boxing. But it's only one entity. Amanda Serrano, this was her vision when she signed that lifetime deal with Most Valuable Promotions. She's the spearhead of women boxing. So when I say that Amanda Serrano was the greatest of all time, women like Clarissa Shields or anybody should not feel offended. It's not about the nickname, the GWOAT. It's that Amanda Serrano is the greatest and the most important figure in women boxing, because if it wasn't for her and her sacrifices and her knowing her value and her worth and her gambling her career with somebody that wasn't known in the sport of boxing, like Jake Paul, then right now, because the 95% of the women that signed to Most Valuable Promotion, if it wasn't for Amanda Serrano, women boxing will be done as a sport. Like I said, a couple of attraction fighters here and there, but the sport will be done, dead. Now, you know, people do got egos. People all have the competitive nature. Of course, there's going to be women out there that be like, that's going to disagree with what I'm saying, because of course it's ego and stuff like that. But let's be real, let's be honest. Women boxing, the sport, professional sport, will be dead without Amanda Serrano's sacrifices. And Amanda Serrano, one thing about her, that she always put women boxing first. Check out her interviews. Tell her what would this win with Katie Taylor mean to her, and she always answers, it's to elevate women boxing. So let me know what y'all think, man. Y'all already know you're now tuned into Punch Drunk Boxing. Tune into July 11th, Netflix. You know, and shout out to Katie Taylor as well, because Katie Taylor, if it wasn't for Katie Taylor, it wouldn't be, you know, women boxing in the Olympics. If you understand what I'm trying to say. The same thing for Katie Taylor, the sacrifice that Katie Taylor made in the amateurs, the same sacrifices that Amanda Serrano did in the professional level. Sometimes, for most of the time, it takes one to truly open the doors or keep the doors open, you know, in any entity. So shout out to Katie Taylor. It's the reason why Clarissa Shields had the opportunity to get medals, or any woman to get medals. And now on the professional level, Amanda Serrano was giving a bunch of opportunities to women to keep women boxing alive. Let me know what y'all think, man. Subscribe to the channel, smash the like button. Love you, God bless, and on to the next.